59% of Americans are regular players, and last year they spent $22 billion on games. But as gaming goes increasingly mainstream, a darker side of the industry is emerging.
It's all part of what's being called Gamergate.
By a scandal called Gamergate.
And what has become known as Gamergate.
It has already spawned 1 million tweets and counting to the Gamergate hashtag.
Gamergaters say that the scandal is really about something called ethics in video game journalism and claim collusion between critics like Sarkeesian, female game developers, and the media to favor softer, more female-friendly games like this one actual game where you play a gust of wind. You know what I say to that gust of wind? Blow me. Now, folks, according to Newsweek, the original claim that started all of this of collusion between one developer and one reviewer wasn't true. But the fire was lit and the flame wars began.
It is a group of male gamers who are attacking women.
Threats of death and of sexual violence.
Bomb, rape, and death threats from online harassers.
A lecture at Utah State University on video game culture was canceled this week. The school in Logan received threats of a large shooting.
Media critic Anita Sarkeesian planned to give a speech at the Utah College on the depiction of women in video games. Sarkeesian's writings call for a change in the gaming world and have now made her a target. She planned to speak on this topic at Utah State University before the school received an anonymous letter threatening a massacre. I have at my disposal a semi-automatic rifle, multiple pistols, and a collection of pipe bombs. This will be the deadliest school shooting in American history. Sarkeesian was told Utah law prevented campus police from stopping people with guns from entering the speech. So Sarkeesian canceled her appearance.
After someone threatened the deadliest shooting in American history, railing against what feminist lies and poison have done to the men of America. One person created a game allowing users to virtually punch her in the face.
Brianna Wu went into hiding over the weekend. She felt she had to after receiving death threats like these. You just made a blank game nobody liked. That's it. Nobody will care when you die. And this one, I hope you enjoy your last moments alive on this earth. You did nothing worthwhile with your life. There were also tweets so graphic we can't show them to you.
Why do you think that women are being threatened? Because it's almost entirely women who are being threatened in Gamergate.
Yes.
Chris Kluwe has talked about this. He hasn't been threatened. Other men haven't been threatened. Why do you think women are being threatened in this exchange?
I think women are perceived as threatening because we are asking for games to be more inclusive. We're asking for games to acknowledge that we exist and that we love games.
And critics like Wu are calling out game designers for the way they portray women. But Wu has also become a lightning rod for gamers who see these criticisms as an attack on their identity. She says she was forced to flee her home after receiving death threats from angry gamers.
You were threatened with rape, you were threatened with murder, your husband was threatened to be killed and have his genitals cut off.
Did you see these threats? Like, they said who, what, why, where, and when they were going to murder me and my husband.
They attacked you personally.
They did. The goal was simple. It was to personally destroy the woman that was critiquing them.
Eric, explain how the Gamergate began.
Right. So from the beginning, Gamergate supporters have claimed that this is about journalistic ethics and about supposed corruption in the gaming industry. But it has originated as, and it's continued to be, about sort of undermining women in the gaming industry. It began as a blog post that was accusing a female game developer of sleeping with a prominent games journalist, and then claiming that that journalist then went on to write a favorable review of her game. Now, the reality is that review doesn't exist, never written. But that claim is still being repeated in Gamergate circles. People are still saying that, well, this is evidence of corruption. This is, a thing that happened, even though it didn't.
Much of the vitriol appears on Twitter hashtag Gamergate. Originally created by gamers concerned with fair gaming reviews, it has grown into a loose movement associated with the worst of online harassment of women.
This is actually attacks on women. Like, game ethics in journalism is not what's happening in any way. It's actually men going after women in really hostile, aggressive ways. That's what Gamergate is about. It's about terrorizing women for being involved in this industry, for being involved in this hobby.
threats and harassment has now gone to the U.S. Supreme Court. Joey, just a few weeks ago, they heard arguments on another case there, and that could decide the laws regarding this across the nation. On Twitter, people can get online. You can say whatever you want. Profiles don't have to be verified. Who do you know who you're talking to? Who are you listening to? Big questions right now that we may get some resolution depending on how the Supreme Court rules in this most recent case.